Shalom, y'all. First and foremost, I'm going to give all praise, all glory, and honor to YAHAWAH, YAHAWASHI, YAHAWASHI, QADASH. Second, I want to give double honor to the apostles of GreatMillstone who rule well. Third, I want to say Shalom, Mahabal, Yasha, to hope bless this pushing the truth of the works of the earth, man. So yeah, I just got finished watching a pretty heavy video from GMSLA, going in on like dreams and interpretations and things like that, and the spirit being poured out in these last days, man. You see what I'm saying? So I'm just gonna pop into the scriptures and then through the spirit, I've never been the best at like interpreting such things as far as like dreams or like visions, because I'm pretty straight to the point, but I'm just gonna get some scriptures and then try to back up these things that I've seen. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a scripture that talks about if you see these things, to speak on them for the edification's sake. You know what I'm saying? So let's just get into the scriptures, man. Right now I'm looking at another chapter because I will eventually deter from the topic. So let me stay on the topics. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. Let's see. Let's get this. Because this is actually a pretty heavy chapter. I kind of want to read the whole thing, I might end up doing it, but I'm gonna get straight to the point here. Let's see. Jeremiah 23 and verse 28. It says, "The prophet that hath a dream, let him tell a dream, and he that hath my word, let him speak my word faithfully," man. So come on, man. There you go, right there, man. It's point blank, period, to the point, man. See what I'm saying? So when you have these things, man, when you have these visions, these dreams, if the Lord bless you with like a talent, like an art talent, you know what I'm saying? Which I used to do a lot of like art, graphic design, things like that. In the past, and I want to get back into it, to perfect my craft, you know what I'm saying, so I can kind of interpret these things. But honestly, some of the things that you see, you know what I'm saying, some of the things that the Lord will give you are just so hard to interpret into put into words or to draw out that I find it hard to like put it on paper, you know what I'm saying. So I'm gonna try and go through the spirit next time and see how it works that way. But yeah, man, when you have these visions, these dreams, man, which I could say, for me personally, honestly, I have a lot of them, man. I could say almost, I want to say like on a nightly basis, I have some dream or some vision, in correspondence to the truth or this ministry or what's to come or something along the lines of that, man. And it's just been so common that I often don't like tell them or interpret them. But yeah, man, since as young as I can remember, even before I was in the truth, I would have visions. I say one of the earlier ones that I have that I remember was I say I was I was probably like in the sixth grade, around I say like 11. I don't know how old you are at that time, like 11, 12. And I had a really intense vision where I'm trying to remember. I was in a desolate city, man. I was just in a desolate city, and this vision was straight to the point, man. Like everything was just desolate, man. It wasn't fully destroyed, but there was nothing there, man. And I was on the steps of this large building, and there's nothing but skyscrapers around, man. I was like 11 years old, you know what I'm saying? And at that time, like, even though I wasn't in the truth, and you would think that, you weren't at that age, you wouldn't be doing too many bad things. But yeah, man, like I said, like the scriptures say, man, a father that doesn't love that loves his son doesn't withhold his rod from him. See what I'm saying? Or that butt whooping, so to speak, man. So even when I wasn't in the truth, whenever I went off, I would severely get punished almost immediately, man. See what I'm saying? And I've had a few strange moments, you know what I'm saying? I've had a burning bush moment, so to speak. I've had a moment, but in this particular vision, let me get back to the point, man. It was a desolate city, man, and I was standing there, and I just remember this light, this really bright light coming to me, and just saying pretty straight to the point, man. It's like basically pick a side, man. It's saying it said if you don't, do what you're supposed to, you'll basically end up in this situation or here in a desolate city. And it said that this is what's to come, man. And it was so vivid that even to this point, to this day now, even though like it was some odd years ago, you know what I'm saying? Like right now I'm in my mid 20s. Back then I was like 11 years old. I can draw out because I dream in color, so I can draw out exactly what I saw. You see what I'm saying? Like that's how vivid it was. But it was just a light, man. And the light, I would assume, was an angel. And it said, basically, get your stuff together, man. You know what I'm saying? And I was at 11 years old, man. And then skip forward, they just got more and more intense over the years. You know what I'm saying? And before then, every night, as long as I can remember, since I could say I was like probably like about around, I guess as early as I can remember dreaming, 6, 7 years old, I'll have some sort of vision of either me going onto a chariot or just desolation, man. Every night, man. Just people running, from, rather it be like, it seemed like a zombie apocalypse. Just people running, man. Just people getting shot down, people running, people crowding into places, just mass hysteria, man. You know what I'm saying? Every night I would have to run, you know what I'm saying? And I would be in these dreams and I would have to, get out of small windows, nooks and crannies, or I'll be hidden, you know what I'm saying? I will find a spot to kind of like hide myself, because the Lord would like open up a closet, and then I would get there and there would be, like women, you know what I'm saying? Things like that, or interpretations. And then as I got into the scriptures later, then they got more vivid because I started to be able to interpret these things. So he increased, the visions, you know what I'm saying? So, and not even the visions, but the symbolism inside of the dreams and things that I would get. So then I started receiving things like I guess symbolism, you know what I'm saying? Like stepping over hordes of bears, lots of snakes, you know what I'm saying, and lions. But to go on, because I want to get into the scriptures again, because I want this to be about the scriptures, because I'm going to talk about my visions for sure, but really I want this to be on a scriptural basis, because it's important that we interpret these things, man. So let's keep going, man. Verse 26, it says, how long shall this be in the heart of the prophets that prophesy lies? Yeah, they are prophets that deceive their own heart, man. So it's going to go into basically the prophets that receive these, receive visions of their own in their whole heart, though, man. See what I'm saying? Whether it be set up for the okie doke, from YAHAWASHI, or just them blatantly lying, man. See what I'm saying? Let's keep going. It says, which think to cause my people to forget my name by their dreams, which tell every man and his neighbor, as their fathers have forgotten my name for Baal, man. Which is what's happened, man. See what I'm saying? So not only YAHAWASHI has been crucified here, but also the Most High Heavenly Father Yahweh, man, because they've driven him to a smoke, you know what I'm saying? Because they've forsaken his name, man. They basically say that he doesn't hold any sort of value, man. And that's why in his truth, man, another thing, when you go through the chastening, which I'm going to get into that as well, man, one thing you got to remember is that when you start to see these things, as you become more spiritual, you're going to start seeing things like, I don't even like to use that word, like, I'll just say angels, man. You'll see angels, spirits, you know what I'm saying? Things like that, chariots, spiritual things, man. And no matter what it is, you got to remember that you got to thank YAHAWASHI, because what he's doing is he's opening up your mind to a realm that people, that if you're dead, you can't see, man. You can't see it. You know what I'm saying? And these people, they have no water, man. So because of that, they're dry bones. And when you're dry bones, you can't see, man. You don't see the spiritual realm. And if you see it, you don't understand it, man. There's no way you understand it, man. So if he's opening your mind to these things and you're seeing these things, just give more reverence, praise, and honor and glory to YAHAWASHI, man. See what I'm saying? Because as you come into this truth, any older brother in your camp, man, or if you're alone, man, I strongly suggest that you talk to an Akim that's in his truth, and that has a truth, and that's been in the truth for a while, and you'll understand that you're not alone, man, because that's very important, man, because otherwise you'll bug out, man, because some of the things that you'll receive, some of the things that you'll see It'll be things that you wish you hadn't, you know what I'm saying? And things that you wish that you could hold on to forever, man. See what I'm saying? That's the balance, man. He might show you the kingdom, man. And you won't want to leave, man. Or you might think you're delivered. He might give you a vision that's so intense, man, where you think you're on a chariot and that you're out of this place, man. And then you wake up. You know what I'm saying? But these things that you see, man, they're basically what I'm saying is that they're the spiritual aspect of things, because really the two worlds intertwine. You know what I'm saying? He's just in the fourth dimension. You know what I'm saying? So if he's showing you these things, that means that your spirit's waking up, man. That means that you're more in tune with the spiritual side, which is a glimpse, man. A glimpse of what's to come, man. It's really just you getting baby fed, man. Getting fed baby food, man. See what I'm saying? And you want that, man, because if you don't receive that, then you're gonna bug out, man. You're gonna bug out hard, man. So continuing, man. Yeah, when you receive those things, man, I'll go into it a little bit. YAHAWASHI stays on my mind. Take them cheerfully, man. See what I'm saying? Said those some strange things should happen to you, man. See what I'm saying? But let's keep going, man. As for on this chapter, man, verse 28, Jeremiah 23 and 28 says, the prophet that hath a dream, let him tell a dream, and he that hath my word, let him speak my word faithfully. What is the shaft to the wheat, saith the Lord? Is not my word like a fire, give the Lord, and like a hammer that breaketh the rock into pieces, man? See what I'm saying? So that's the word of the Lord, man. Not cotton candy, not not lollipops, not hugs. You know what I'm saying? It's like a fire, man, and like a hammer that break a rock into pieces, man. So it destroys lies, man. See what I'm saying? The hard and the impudent, man. The impudent, man. Or the imprudent, I can't really pronounce that word, man. See that rock, man. See what I'm saying? That stiff neck, you know what I'm saying? Hard headedness, man. It says it just destroys the lie, man. See what I'm saying? It destroys any stumbling blocks. See what I'm saying? Let's say the rock represents a stumbling block. It breaks the rock into pieces. So the truth destroys the stumbling blocks. You know what I'm saying? If you can see it, then you get over that stumbling block. So if the path if your path and its truth is obstructed by a stumbling block, then the Lord's word is what's going to get you through that, man. See what I'm saying? So keep going. It says, verse 30, it says, therefore, behold, I am against the prophets, saith the Lord, that steal my words, every one from his neighbor, man. Behold, I am against the prophets, saith the Lord, that use their tongues. And say, he saith, behold, I am against them that prophesy false dreams, saith the Lord, and do tell them, and cause my people to err by their lies, man. So you got to tell the difference between some crazy dream that you're having and a vision as well, man. See what I'm saying? Or something that the Lord gives to you, man. And the way you can tell is if it correlates with the scriptures, man. See what I'm saying? Typically you can tell if it's really intense by, because Job, he goes into like some of like the attributes or the characteristics of what happens to you when you receive these things. You know what I'm saying? It says the hair standing up, the bones quivering. Other scriptures talk about the spirit coming on you, and like your mouth not being able to, like, there's a lot of different characteristics that can come on you, man. But let me keep going, man. It says, behold, I am against them that prophesy false dreams, saith the Lord, and do tell them, and cause my people to err by their lies and by their lightness. Yet I sent them not, nor commanded them. Therefore therefore they shall not profit this people at all, saith the Lord, man. And when this people or the prophet or the priest shall ask thee, saith, what is the burden of the Lord? Thou shalt say unto them, what burden? I will even forsake you, saith the Lord, man. And it says, and as for the prophet, the priest, and the people, they shall say, the burden of the Lord, I will even punish that man in his house, man. See what I'm saying? So you got to be careful, man. Let's see what I'm saying. And I got a Akim going on in the background, so it's a lock here because I'm not turning them off. You know what I'm saying? So let's keep going. Let's see. Da-da-da. Da-da-da. Let's keep going. Actually, let's go back. Let me go back to that chapter because there's some meat at the top. Let me get verse 4. Jeremiah 23 and verse 4 says, I will set up shepherds over them which shall feed them, and they shall fear no more, nor be dismayed, neither shall they be lacking, saith the Lord, man. See what I'm saying? So let me get verse 3. It says, well, it says, and I will gather the remnant of my flock out of all countries whither I have driven them, and will bring them again to their folds, and they shall be fruitful and increase, man. So that's the time that we're in now. We're in a time of being fruitful and increasing. We're in a time of dreams being put on the women and the children and the young men and the old men. See what I'm saying? So it's a beautiful time, but at the same time, it's kind of devastating because you got to know we're not in the last days anymore, man. We're in the last hours, man. So let's keep going, man. Or even the last minutes, you know what I'm saying? Last seconds, man. Let's keep going, man. Let me get Job. So continuing on, basically like these visions. So basically, as I got older, they got stronger, man. And then particularly, I had one a few years back, just before I came into the truth, man. And this is what got me into the truth. And this particular vision, I wasn't even asleep when I had it. You see what I'm saying? I was laying down, and then my body just, it felt like my body was like filled with like a water. You know what I'm saying? Like almost like a really refreshing water. And then my body became light. You know what I'm saying? And then as it became light, like my mind was like overflown with like basically visions. You see what I'm saying? And I saw a lot really fast all at once, but I retained it all. See what I'm saying? And what I saw was like almost like visions, and like something, like it was like I was awake but my eyes were open, and I saw these things in front of me. You know what I'm saying? Almost like a hologram. And what I saw was like the earth, and I saw fire, and I saw water, and it was all interpreted to me like over the course of like the few seconds that it was happening, which seemed like a lot was retained in that little bit of time. What it was, you see what I'm saying? What that was, I'm not gonna really expound on that right now because that's not really important. But that's like the first vision that I had, and then when I had it, I ended up going to the doctor because I got up and I ran into the bathroom, and I was like, oh, well, what's going on with me? You know what I'm saying? Because I never had this issue before. And I looked in a mirror, and my pupils were like completely dilated. You know what I'm saying? My pupils were completely dilated. My heart was racing. You know what I'm saying? And then I went to the doctor, and they diagnosed me with anxiety. And I'm like, hey, you know what? Like, I don't know. At that time, I was like, I don't know the symptoms of anxiety, but like, what I had was clearly a vision. You know what I'm saying? And then afterward, I was like completely different. You know, like my mind was changed. Like I ended up picking up the Bible the very next day, and I was just on the porch just reading. You know what I'm saying? I had no idea why. It just felt right. You know what I'm saying? And then after that is when everything got weird. You know what I'm saying? I came across the truth, man. You see what I'm saying? I was searching, like every Akim, you know what I'm saying, on looking at hidden colors, things like that, trying to find the truth. But the whole time it was in front of me, because another thing that would happen to me quite often is that I'll run into to men, you know what I'm saying, with messages, man. And they would often have messages to tell me, and I would take them in, and I wouldn't really understand them or be able to interpret them until I started reading the scriptures, and I understood that everything that they were saying was like scriptural based. You know what I'm saying? And they would tell me, I remember a few years back before I came into the truth, I was at work, and I was laboring, man, for an Edomite, man. Then a man came up out of nowhere, man. He was like, yo, man, like, don't worry, man. You won't have to suffer this too much longer, man. Eventually, they're gonna work for you, man. You see what I'm saying? They're supposed to be working for you, man. He said a little bit longer, and then, you'll understand what I'm talking about, man. And I was like, I didn't really get what he meant at that time, but like shortly after that, it was revealed to me, through the spirit of YAHAWASHI, and of course the elders and things like that, man. but I ended up stumbling across the truth, man. And just before, I would say less than I want to say weeks, man, before I came across the truth, man. A really crazy event happened to me, man. It was a long night, you know what I'm saying? I was at work, and I worked in a pretty bad part of the neighborhood, man. And I would walk to the bus stop, but the bus stop wasn't that I had to take was nowhere near where I worked at, man. You see what I'm saying? It was about, I say, like a mile, 2 miles away from where I had to work at, and it was in a notoriously bad place, man, area, man. And like I'll walk it every night, man. Uh, so just crazy stuff happening all the time, man. People getting shot, like tape around convenience stores, man getting his face blown off, you know what I'm saying? Like crazy stuff like that, man. And then I will walk it, and then through the grace of YAHAWASHI, I never had to deal with anything, man. Had people asking me for money if they could hold bus tickets, groups of men, that in most cases you would think like clearly they were like had bad intentions, but I never really saw, Jake like that, man. I always thought that Jake, in their heart, uh, had good hearts, man. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't really know the scriptures at that time, so I didn't know that, like the whole eye evil towards the brother thing, things like that. So continuing, man. But I was walking. As I'm walking, I see this cloud, man. Like this cloud is like dark, man. Like when I say it's dark, it's like dark, man. Like pitch black, man. It's like really low, and I'm like, whoa, yo, like what is going on? Like, and me, like I'm from like I'll say I stay in the east, man, but I used to stay in the west. So whenever I saw like clouds or like darkness, I'm thinking in my head, because things that I've seen, I'm like, tornadoes. Like I gotta get inside, man. So anyway, this cloud is dark, man. I'm like, this is like a tornado cloud or something's about to happen, man. Because I just had like this feeling inside of me, like this the energy that was coming from this cloud, man, was just crazy, man. See what I'm saying? And this is all while I'm awake, man. So this is not a dream, man. And then it was really low, man. And the position of it was really, really weird, because it was right over the bus stop that I had to take to go home, man. See what I'm saying? And then I just follow my path, man. See what I'm saying? The whole time, like I'm in the spirit, man. I'm like, hey, like what happens, and like I have a zeal, so I don't know, the Lord's name, but I'm thinking to myself, basically call all him like YAHAWASHI, and then I'm on my way to home, and I get to the bus stop, and there's just this old man. He's just sitting there, man. He's not saying anything, man. He's just smiling at me. I'm like, okay, this is kind of weird, but it's not the weirdest thing I've seen, because where I'm at, I've seen a lot of weird things, man. and and this old man, he's just smiling at me, man. And he doesn't say a thing, man. Not one thing, man. And like, but I can feel like there's something about his spirit that's not normal, man. Like typically when I'm around somebody, or around, I would say like somebody that has like a message for me, I'll feel it before I receive the message, or before anything happens. I can feel it, man. I'll just tell you that, man. I can feel it, man. And like it's like a really heavy feeling. And then if it's, remember once, just another story, just to turn away from the story. I was on my way to Columbus, and I was at a Greyhound station, and there was this man, and he was bugging out, man. Like people wouldn't talk to him, because he was like talking to himself. He wasn't really talking to himself. He was like talking to somebody beside him, and like I knew, like I was like, okay, this man, like even though they wouldn't talk to him, I was like, this is like my spirit had to like follow him around, man. So like I was following him around everywhere, man. I tried to get close enough to hear what he was saying, because like my spirit, like my ears were like tingling, man. And then when I got close enough to him, like the presence from him just made me want to like get down. And I was like, I didn't even know like why I felt this, man. I was like this is when I was in the truth, man. So part of me like knew like it would be going off for me to like bow down, you know what I'm saying? But this man, like the spirit on him was like clearly not normal, man. He was like a messenger. So I got in front of him. I was like, I have to, like, I'm telling you, this is a crowded Greyhound station. I'm like, I gotta do so. I can't be standing in front of this man. You know what I'm saying? Because his demeanor was like clearly directed towards me, man. Like he was almost like either upset with me, or he had like he was upset that I wasn't engaging with him, even though everybody else was staying away from him because he looked like he was crazy, man. See what I'm saying? The dude, he looked like he was like homeless. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm telling you, man, he was a crazy dude. He was older too, man. He had all white hair. I would say like gray white hair. You know what I'm saying? And he was it was crazy, man. He was just like just talking to himself, man. And like when I got close to him, I was like, yo, like I can't be standing in front of this dude, man. So like I made an excuse to get down and like bow down, man. And like something in my spirit made me want to bow for some reason. So even if it was a messenger, like I don't know, it was just something about his spirit was like more pure than mine, man. So I bowed down to tie my shoe, and then I hear him say something, man. But I still can't get close. I'm following him around the station, man. Like I'm at this point, I look crazy because I'm following this dude around the station, man. And then finally we sit down, man. And I sit down next to him. And I'm like, yo, you gotta tell me, like, because I can feel like even though he was avoiding me, I knew that he wanted me to ask him. You know what I'm saying? So finally, he sits down on the ground, man. He doesn't sit in a chair. Plenty of chairs, man. He sits down on the ground in the corner away from everybody else, man. Then he starts talking about the scriptures, man. See what I'm saying? And then he starts talking about David and Goliath, man. And he says like some a crazy story. I don't remember what he says, man, but talks about in a way that he talks, man. In the way that he talks, man, isn't normal either, man. He talks like in like a old kind of English, you know what I'm saying? He's saying like something about, he's like, I reckon, I don't even know why I'm going too deep into the story because it's not really relevant to what I'm saying right now. But he said, I reckon something about David lured Goliath over to like a tree, and the tree had a boulder in it, and that was a slingshot. I don't know what he was talking about. It was some crazy stuff. But anyway, he didn't say that for that reason. He said it to like for some other symbolic reason that I didn't know at the time. And then I saw him later, and then he just sat down to me, and he had a few words that he said directly to me, and it was a very, very straightforward message, man. He said, "Hey," he's like, "Hey, man, they're watching, man." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" I was looking around, like, "What are you talking about, man?" He's like, "Be quiet, man." He's like, "They're watching, man." I was like, "Yo, what are you talking about, man?" And then he said, "Take heed, man." That's all he said, man. And he left, man. And then it was the most straightforward message, but it was enough for me to understand, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, okay, take heed, man. Like I gotta be on my stuff, on my P's and Q's, man. That's just one example of like a messenger, man. So let me go back to the original story, but before I do that, I'm gonna get to the scriptures, man. Let's see, because I need to get this Job, man. So I'm gonna get into Job 33 and verse 1. But let me stop this and start this again, man.